Charity, what's going on in there?
I'm just checking out the different kinds of head casing.
Very nice, yeah.
Welcome to another special edition of Between the Studs.
We are in my favorite spot of almost all time here, which is our 15,000 square foot showroom at Granite Ridge Builders.
Well, I've enjoyed the last 15 episodes of Between the Studs because we've been highlighting the process of building our amazing 10,000 square foot new model home called the Monaco.
Today we're going to talk all about the trim portion, the trimscaping of the Monaco. Our amazing designers say good trim work is a sign of a well-crafted home.
You're right, the trim can reflect a lot of quality that goes into the home, and you will not be disappointed when you see this new model home and all the trim going into it. Picking the right trim brings the whole home together and makes it cohesive.
You know, what I love about trim work is that it really unifies a door and a window on the wall, and it brings together the floor, the ceiling, and the wall because it's all connected and it frames your picture that you see when you walk in the home. Some examples of what we're talking about here is going to be, like Charity mentioned, head casing. So if you look over here, how that trim work on top of the door connects to what is coming down on the sides. All of that together is what really brings the wall and the door together. What I love to see too are some built up baseboards. It's absolutely beautiful sort of craftsmanship. I love to walk in the home and see columns. All of this together really does bring together your style, your colors, your selections, the right selections here. We have so many things to pick from. We're all holding all these samples. We have some details of baseboard and casing. There's a lot of different things that go into this. You can go simple or intricate depending on your style. I love something like this here is really cool. It's called a fluted look where it's concave in the grooves. You have some different things that the other ladies are holding here that are fun.
I love the reeded look. This is a casing that's reeded, but we're doing a lot of this on walls, on cabinets, other applications.
Absolutely.
If you want it like a modern farmhouse look, you can go, it's kind of like on the window over there, but you've got your stool here and then your apron, which would go.
You know what I love about this? It's a great spot for the kitty cat to sit.
Absolutely. There's a lot of different reasons why you pick the trim you do, depending on your style or depending on your pets. It might be great reasons to pick a great style of trim, and we have so much more to talk about today. I mean, this is a world that is really exciting. We love to talk about it. We have baseboard, we have casing, we have head case, we have the Monaco to talk about, and it's never ending, so stay tuned. We're going to bring you a lot of fun details.
Let's go find everyone else.
Okay, where did they go? We have to get going.
Welcome to Between the Studs. We are Granite Ridge Builders, custom builders serving northern Indiana, northwest Ohio, and also parts of southern Michigan. We have been building custom homes for almost 2 decades, and we're really passionate about what we do. So join us today as we explore the processes, the trends, and also tips that characterize today's new home. Thanks for watching.
Welcome back. About 1 year ago, we at Granite Ridge Builders had a dream and idea to build a architecturally unique, exciting, and livable modern showcase home that would highlight some of the new trends and education that we feature on Between the Studs show for the past 15 to 20 years.
Plus, the other reason we wanted to build this model is that you could come over and we could demonstrate so many things. We want to be able to explain who we are, what we do, and why we do what we do so well. See, everybody knows it now. So you got that in
And there's something about the doo-doo again.
No.
Yeah, I like how you snuck that one in there, Kayla.
Yep.
So 7 months ago, we broke ground on this amazing lot after months and months and months of planning. A ton of effort went into this house. It's a 3/4 of an acre lot out there. It's beautiful, has a nice drop-off, walkout basement, nature lovers galore in northern Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Since then, we've had a lot of fun showing you the processes during the building of this fantastic model home we call the Monaco.
And yeah, this year we have shot 15 episodes to date. So this will be the 16th on the Monaco. And we have let you see the process all the way through, from design to the lot selection to the clearing, foundation, the garage, the framing, the heating, the plumbing, the electrical.
the electrician quitting, the electrician coming back.
And the best part about this, though, is if you haven't seen those 15 episodes, you can go and find them on YouTube, plus 200 other episodes of all about Between the Studs.
Plus, you can find Mike doing the drywall shuffle.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, the best one? It was Charity on the stilt with doing it by herself. Well, no, they had 3 people holding her up.
At one point, I was by myself, and y'all were so nervous. And I tried to tell you,
911 on speed dial.
I used to be a gymnast. It was all cool.
It was scary.
And she's not on insurance, so we really don't worry about it.
Well, probably the most important stage when it came to the Monaco was deciding our floor plan and, of course, our architectural style. And that's where we came up with the modern European chateau-style home.
Yeah, in episode 15, we talked about how we achieved the chateau style. We actually used a Rolls Royce, remember that? They didn't let me drive it for some reason. And then we also talked about how we arrived at the name the Monaco, which was named after the country, the Monaco, which is in the French Riviera.
Yeah, which is interesting. I still find that fascinating that mono was one, and guess what? Chaos, which is single, house. Okay, going back to that. So I thought that was interesting too.
And so today we're going to look at trimscaping, and so it's only proper for us to name this the Trimscaping of the Monaco. Add sound effects there.
Less coffee. Yeah. Less coffee.
Sound a little Robin Leachy.
Now, arguably, trimscaping is the most important part of the construction process. It's really going to develop the feel of the home, and it's forever going to set the tone for the house.
You're absolutely right. This is the most important phase because this is when your house becomes a home with personality and style. So before now you walk in, it's a drywalled home. It could be any style. Once you get that trim work on, it really starts to define the character of your home.
It's really almost a magical experience, the transformation of the look and the feel of the home just from that trim.
And that magic experience has a word. It's when trim work creates a phenomenon called geometric illusion. It's where the room can feel longer or wider by using horizontal trim lines, or we can even make the ceiling look taller by using vertical lines or adding crown around that ceiling.
And trim work solves the empty box syndrome. So empty shell trim really makes an impact on that. Think of a beautiful room in your mind. It usually has beautiful trim work around your windows, on your walls, on your ceiling.
Also, I noted that our amazing designers, as they were figuring out the trim work inside the house, they had already, using the same principles, figured out the appointments on the outside of the house. They're connected.
When we're putting all this together, we have a lot of things we need to keep in mind. Size, shape, symmetry, rhythm, proportion. All these need to come in together to make sure that everything looks exactly the way it should.
Plus, our amazing design team thought of the colors on the wall and the ceiling, the patterns of the fabrics we're choosing for the sofa. I mean, all of this comes together and plays into what trim work you're selecting for your home.
And I think you can see from these vision boards, the results in the Monaco are spectacular. It's just amazing what they've done.
Well, you know with Between the Studs, we love history. So let's go back in time to learn about some of the fascinating history when it comes to trim work.
So trim work has existed for centuries here, guys. It dates all the way back to ancient Greece and Rome. Now, surprisingly, ancient Greece and Rome is in the same geographic location as Monaco, which is where we got our name for this amazing model home.
The ancient Greeks and Romans used very elaborate frieze boards, moldings, cornices, and of course columns.
Love the columns.
as they decorated their temples and public buildings.
Yeah, and these elements weren't just decorative. They were serving a purpose, they were protecting the wall, and they were also hiding imperfections.
And if we fast forward to medieval and Renaissance periods, we find trim work becoming very, very prominent in buildings like palaces and cathedrals and castles. And it was wood that the craftsman was using. He was beginning to carve special, intricate things into the wood throughout the homes and the buildings.
Now with the Monaco, we have infused all of that together with a little bit of a European flair so that we can really establish one room from another room with the different styles, all by going with the trimscaping.
Okay, now that we've talked a little bit about the history of the trim, let's do this. Let's break out some of the more popular terms and definitions of trim or trim work.
So the word trim itself basically starts off as the decorative wood that we use to go around our edges and borders to, again, to decorate, but also to protect.
So another term you're going to hear is molding. Molding refers to a slender strip of wood that is typically used for finishing or ornamentation. I have a lot of great examples here. I mean, so many. So some
I feel
different
like I
words.
should help you hold.
Okay, yeah, I'll pass off. So some different words you might have heard is colonial. This one here has a just slender profile that is traditionally used. This
Ronnie,
one,
I think that is in probably 90% of our houses back
a
in
lot of our-
Oh, it was.
60s, 70s, and 80s.
a lot of our houses.
Proud of it.
You mentioned the clamshell, so something like this, just slightly rounded. This looks like a clamshell piece. I love this one. This is definitely coming back in style. We have some fluted. Fluted's referred to as they scrape out some of the interior with a little concave sort of a feature
They make
there.
beautiful music, by the way. Go ahead.
Flutes make wonderful music. And this is what's really in style right now, going to throwback to the 80s, is reed. We're going to see several reeded designs at the Monaco, so look out for that, especially in the basement.
I'm
And
not dusting any of those.
yeah, no, that's not a fun duster one. But we have things like rope molding, we have a cove molding, quarter round, so many different options. And this is just some, I have 2 more big boxes, so I stopped here.
One big thing to remember, and I'm going to be staring at Izzy when I say this. We plant molding. That is when you attach this to the wall or to the surface itself. It's planting. You're not hanging it, right,
You're not
Izzy?
messing up my landscaping either.
I am 100% positive that I am not the only one that's made that mistake. And so, join the club.
I'm 100% positive you're the only one we have on video saying it.
Let's talk about cornice molding. So you'd see this like up where your ceiling meets the wall. Sometimes people will put a freeze board. I don't know why I was showing Izzy instead of you guys. Izzy doesn't.
He needs to learn how to
yes,
plant
he
it.
does. He needs to learn how to plant it. Or a little fancier style, the dentille. Yes.
Deal. Don't you have a couple of those in there?
That's cruel.
Have you noticed we always place Mike and Charity far away from each other?
She can't reach me that way.
Well, to add to that, Charity, I have a stud tip. If you take a cornice molding or crown molding and add that, for example, in an 8-foot ceiling room, this will make your ceiling feel taller when you finish it off with that piece.
I've got another molding. It's called chair rail. And you typically put it 30 to 36 inches above the floor, and it's put on the wall to protect the wall from the chairs when you lean back. You know what I'm talking about. And here's another stud tip. You can paint from the ceiling down to the chair rail, one color, and then the chair rail, and then another color below it, and you've got a nice decorative appointment in a room.
The interesting thing is we used to see that a lot in dining rooms because everyone had their table and chairs, and now you don't see chair rail as much because we don't have dining rooms anymore.
Good point.
Another interesting thing you can do with a lot of different pieces of trim work is actually make wainscoting. Because you can have your baseboard, then you can use a piece like this for the verticals, put a top piece on it, paint it all the way through there. It has its picture panel, look for it. It's amazing, and it can do a lot to your home with that.
Kayla, is that popular?
It's very popular, and the great thing is it's a pretty economical way to get a great design because you have a few pieces of trim and you're painting mostly wall with trim paint to make it look like you used a lot more woodwork than what you did, so then you're saving some costs.
Well, I think we can all agree that Trimscaping the Monaco isn't just about function. It is definitely about personality and character as well.
Okay, why don't we get out to the Monaco and show what we're doing? You're not going to want to miss this.
There's so much to show.
Okay, guys, get your work done. I got my part done. That's the shim.
I don't know why they think they're done. There's a whole nother truck of doors. Yeah. Well, I'm really excited. We get to talk about the tasting room, the basement, the wine room. Why am I talking about this segment with you two here?
Oh,
Just
there's typecasting involved, maybe a little bit.
Okay.
There's so much trim work down there. There's some amazing, and we talk about it. It's not just the baseboard, the casing when it comes to trim work. There is the ceiling scaping, and down there is some awesome stuff on the ceiling.
I'm so excited.
Kayla, tell us a little bit about some of the different ceiling styles that we're going to have down here in this entertainment capital of the world.
Okay, first we're going to talk about when you walk down into the great room, it is going to be surrounded with shiplap. All black shiplap, really moody, some really cool stuff going on there. And then you're going to be walking into the tasting room. This tasting room is going to be impeccable. And as you said, the ceiling is very important. So we have a faux metal look for the ceiling in a little tray alcove to make that a pop. The rest of the room is going to be gorgeous. You're gonna really think you're gonna be in a speakeasy because we have a built-in bench all the way around, velvet fabric, wainscoting on the wall. I mean, the mood is going to be so cool. This is probably one of my favorite rooms in the house.
There is some amazing trim work, and I mean, I've got all these pictures here. I'm flipping through, showing the mood board shows the awesome trim work. Let's talk about in that wine room too, what it's going to be like.
Well, we definitely wanted to come up with a different feel for each style of room that we're in. In the wine room, you kind of think a little bit more, we've talked about it, the chateau and the vineyard. I know that is a very popular thing. So we transport you into that time where we're going to have more natural wood elements. We're going to have a knotty pine ceiling. We're going to have more stained work in there. The floor is going to be a little bit different. And like Charity mentioned before, the trimscaping is not just wood. We're looking at stone facade or brick facade. That's going to be throughout this basement as well to really enhance the overall feel.
So you've talked a little bit about the wine room, you talked a little bit about the whiskey room, and it's going to be now, but there is a family element to this downstairs area as well.
There is. That great room is wonderful. We have a beautiful kitchen down there, a full kitchen, as well as some fun spaces like a fitness room and a golf room. We also have a multi-generational space where you can have either maybe the college student coming back, or there's a full living space, a bathroom, bedroom, closet, all set up for anybody to be able to enjoy. So this lower level is going to be the talk of the town. You have to come out and see it.
So with all the different rooms and everything going on, how many different styles of trimscaping and ceilingscaping roughly are we going to have down here?
I can't even count. There's so many. I mean, almost everywhere you turn, there's something more to see, which is why we have piles among piles of woodwork in this garage, because it's about ready to go in. We can't wait to see it.
Well, we are standing in the grand great room out here at the Monaco, and this is going to be your first impression when you walk through the foyer door and you see what's behind us.
My first thought is wow as I look up. I'm talking about the ceiling in this home. Three Douglas fir solid beams. They come from the Pacific Northwest.
Yes.
They're incredible. I've never seen anything like it personally.
It is absolutely beautiful. They're solid beams, and it really is the vision that you see when you come into the home. It creates that comfortable feel. We've mixed these wonderful styles of modern European chateau, and those beams really enhance that style. And what I love about it is in between the beams, we're gonna have some painted shiplap. So we have some nice stained work as well as some painted woodwork to bring that all together.
And what I love about these beams, Lonnie, is most of the time beams when you see in a home, they're just faux. These are not faux.
Yeah.
These are solid scissor truss strut beams.
The real thing.
It's super exciting. And the other things that's going to be what you see when you look at those beams is this fireplace. Now we keep talking about trim work. It's not just the wood. It is going to be stone. In another area we're going to have fabric. So it's whatever is facing the wall or the ceiling. And I love this real stone fireplace that we're going to have. It's going to be absolutely gorgeous. Stone to the ceiling, flanked with gorgeous bookshelves.
Now we have a whole wall of windows behind us, and it's important to trim that out correctly as well.
It is. We love to trim a wall of windows, all looking like one big set, not each individual window. We love it to really picture frame your eye when you walk through the room, and we're going to have trim work going from floor to ceiling, encasing all of those windows.
And what I really like, although the wall is full of windows, because of the veranda, you still feel like you have privacy in this home.
It's absolutely gorgeous. And you mentioned the veranda, Lonnie, and it took us so long to design how we walked through the front door, and all we saw was going to be great room to veranda, and it's going to look like one big space because those trusses are not only in the great room, but they're mimicked in the veranda in the same plane.
What about the foyer? Kayla, what are we going to do here?
So again, a great first impression. I'm so excited. It's a new trend, and that is reeded woodwork, or we're kind of throwing back that trend. But we're going to have some reeded designs going to a 2-story ceiling with a beautiful quartz bench to sit on as you walk in. So a lot of great focal points when you walk in this home. We're going to have beautiful 8-foot tall doors that we'll have to talk about more in another show because there's just so much to talk about, as well as head casing for our cased openings going to each area. There are so many details, and we've thought about every one of them.
And Kayla, are we going to paint Or are we going to stain the woodwork here?
All of it. All of the above. There's painted, there's stained, there's dark, there's light. It is going to be so much to look at. Every room has a different feature.
This truly is a great, grand, great room. And it's one that you're going to be able to see personally very, very soon.
Well, Kayla, I'm looking at these pictures of what you got planned for the sunroom, and I'm so excited to see how this is going to turn out. But like I said, we are in the sunroom. It is located right off of the dining room, which is connected to the kitchen, which is connected to the great room, all part of that open design feel. But what this room is going to have that is so, so unique, and I'm so excited for it. You know this about me. I love any room that has some sort of ceiling scaping done in it. I love walking into a room and my eyes just dart up to the ceiling, because you've done something fascinating. And we've talked about that geometric illusion that trim work can create. We've talked about horizontal lines making the room feel bigger, vertical lines making it feel taller, maybe even with the crown. This one though, you've really outdone yourself. It's gonna create a geometric illusion that two-dimensional ceiling is actually three-dimensional. And we've created a four-sided peaked pyramid ceiling scaping that's gonna make it look like the center of this is actually higher than the rest.
For sure. So this is one of those, we might have outdone ourselves on the design, but the craftsmen are probably wondering what we were thinking because it's got to be very hard for them, and they do an impeccable job in all of our homes, and especially the Monaco, when we've given them a lot more challenges than normal as well. So we very much appreciate our craftsmen who work on all of our homes, and it's really wonderful to work with great craftsmen and suppliers to help us put all of this together. This home was complicated. It's not just poplar trim throughout the house with the same style. It's not just the same wood species, and we had a lot to think about. So we love to be able to work with our partners and talk about how to make each room the feel that we want it to be. So as you mentioned, the design is great, but we really thought about the style. The woodwork in here is going to be a maple stained wood. The other parts of the house, you've heard me talk, we're gonna have knotty pine or Douglas fir. There's so many different styles of wood that create the character that we're going for.
Yeah, and again, we're in the sunroom. We've got plenty of windows. Those windows are overlooking that tiered backyard. You can sit here and see the Willow Creek going by. And you mentioned it's gonna be the maple trim. So you've pulled in some of that woodwork that I'm staring outside in here. I love stained woodwork. I'm not shy in saying I'm always gonna pick stained over painted. But that's just my preference. So when you sit in this room, and we've talked about wellness, you're gonna feel very relaxed, very comfortable in this room. You've got the wood ceiling feature above your head, looking out at that beautiful view. You can't help but just melt into this space and say, you know what, I'm very comfortable here.
Absolutely, and we've really paid attention to the details in the color that we've done throughout the rest of the room. That's going to be a smooth maple stained ceiling, but a dark room all surrounding you for that cozy, comfortable feel. It's going to be all black, the trim work, the window casing, the cabinets, all black to really play off of each other and have that cozy, comfortable feel.
I'm telling you, Mike, we're gonna set the dance trend this summer. It's the shuffle, so right twist this time.
No,
left
would
twist.
you knock it off? I have told you before, we don't need another injury in our house, okay? Okay, leave the bucket. All right, thank you.
All right, guys, I guess we got to get serious here. We are in the master bedroom of the Monaco. Now, this place is amazing what you've done with the trimscaping here. And as you can see behind us, we have this amazingly beautiful setting room with the fireplace right behind the master. It is going to be amazing. Now, they say every room in a house needs a little bit of magic. And Kayla, I think you guys have really done that here with the trimming that you're planning on doing in here.
When we see the ceiling that is a flat ceiling matched up with this honeycomb trim, I'm telling you, this is going to be a piece of art that has transformed this room to something special.
What I love when we design the ceiling scaping and wall scaping is we're thinking about color as well. Not everything is white or not everything is stained. We're going to do this really cool deep green color in here, or a dark teal in another room, or black in another. So we're making sure we pair the trim work with color as well.
Now, Kayla, trimscaping isn't just the wood accents that are on the house. What other things have you done to wallscape this house to make it look beautiful with the trim?
Well, what I love in here is that instead of going with a furniture piece, we did an upholstered wall for the master bed area. Because we have these beautiful windows, we wanted to make sure it fit perfectly. So we're going to have an upholstered wall. The nightstands are going to be on the sides. We're going to have oversized lamps on these nightstands, and it's going to really picture frame the view when you walk in.
And I think we're really going to start another trend here in the Fort Wayne area too with this sitting room, because it's not popular around here very much, but man, this might change everything.
Absolutely will, because what I love about the sitting room is that you can close it off for a nice setting. You have beautiful pocket doors leading you into this room. You have a fireplace, and we've already seen some of the furniture come in for this room, and I love this day bed in there. It's going to be comfortable and cozy. This oversized chair is amazing. But when we talk about the trim work, again, it's what really sets the tone. So this fireplace has beautiful tile to the mantle height. This mantle is a poplar wood. And we really like to make sure we have the right wood in the right areas. This room is very fitting for poplar wood. It stains up well. It's a smoother wood style. So we mimicked that with the mantle, as well as the ceiling has a stain shiplap in here to really bring those earthy elements in. It's going to be comfortable and cozy. It is going to be really a relaxing retreat.
Now guys, we don't have time to show you today on this episode, but we have another episode upcoming where we're gonna go through the master bathroom, tile everywhere in there. It is going to be amazing.
Well, let's go take a look because we need to get ready for that show.
Okay, you
here
go
soon.
real quick. Back to the bucket, back to the bucket.
Cha-cha slide, come on.
Here we go.
It's going to be this dance craze. It's going to be everywhere, Mike.
Okay, let's see it.
Right foot
Guys,
this time.
what are you doing?
Left foot this time.
All right, guys, we got to close. Hey, now wait, Luke, tell us the truth. How long is it really going to take to do all that trim over at the Monaco?
Well, we're going to have a couple crews running. It's going to be long days, but we're going to do it in 15 days, believe it or not.
Oh my God.
That is a miracle.
Well, and I think we can all agree that the Trimscaping at the Monaco is going to be remarkable and exciting, and we can't wait for you to come out and see it when it's finished.
All right, how about everyone get a chance here? Share something that you heard today that you just found very exciting, educational, and would like to share with someone else again.
I think adding crown molding to a ceiling to make the room taller is a great idea.
Well, any sort of trim added to a home is a great idea, but I think when you add it to a kitchen island, like some shiplap, beadboard, some picture frame molding, it adds a pop and a lot of value to your home.
And in the great room, you can replace or exchange your picture frame around the window and add a stool and an apron.
I think one big thing that people overlook sometimes is that crown molding on the kitchen cabinets, because those uppers with that crown can completely change the look and style of a home.
Something very simple that you can do is add a higher head casing on a doorway, and it makes a dramatic effect for that area.
Okay, it looks like we've run out of time. Kayla, would you close for us?
Absolutely. You guys might have heard it at the beginning of the show, but I gotta say it again. We thank you all so much for joining us today. If you'd like to learn a little bit more about who we are, what we do, and why we do what we do so well, please pick up the phone and give us a call, visit our website, or even better yet, come in our front doors. We can't wait to talk to you about your trim work for your new home.
We just did a whole show in no time.
Go.
Oh, wait, we have to.
We got bloopers.
Color of the wall or the pattern of the trim work, we want to make sure it is all cohesive, so that's, oh gosh, guys.
It's the same thing in choosing your girlfriend.
Size and proportion.
Size, shape, support. I'm not. I was thinking.
That's Lonnie Norris at GraniteRidgeBuilders.com.
I should have said I was sitting next to a door.
Moving on. Yeah,
Yeah, you should have.
Should have. I thought about it, but I thought, no, well.
To summarize, yep, that's it, yep. Sorry.
All that builds up.
A more modern trim work continues to evolve over the ages, and for the walls, okay.
You can read it.
We need a toilet.
Maybe, yeah.
I'm telling you, this is going to be the place where art meets magic. And so this is going to be the art room. Most people, this is where the magic happens. But for us, this is going to be... Stop!